They say deep in the sacred forests of the Wild West, there walks a bear that is not entirely flesh and not entirely spirit. A bear whose white fur glows under moonlight, whose footsteps leave no sound, and whose eyes seem to carry the memories of the land itself. To some tribes, it is a guardian. To others, it is a warning. And to those who encounter it in their darkest hour, it becomes a test of survival. This is not a story of hunting. This is not a story of conquest. This is the legend of endurance, balance, and the invisible bond between human and wild. This is the story of the spirit bear. Long before railroads cut across the plains and before towns rose from dust, there was a forest where the mountains met the mist. The trees there were ancient, their roots twisting like the veins of the earth itself. The people called it the sacred wild. To the tribe who lived at its edge, this forest was not just land. It was memory. It was breath. It was the place where spirits walked in animal form. Among all the creatures said to roam the sacred wild, none was more feared or more honored than the spirit bear. It was described as larger than any normal bear, its fur pale like winter clouds, its movements slow and deliberate, as if time itself stepped aside for it. Hunters spoke of seeing it once in a lifetime. Shamans spoke of meeting it in dreams. They believed the spirit bear was born from the first storm that touched the mountains and the first fire that warmed the valley. It carried strength from the earth and wisdom from the sky, and it only appeared when balance was threatened. There lived a young hunter named Tayan. He was skilled with the bow, quick on his feet, and eager to prove himself worthy of the old stories. But inside him burned impatience. He believed strength meant taking, that survival meant dominance, that the forest was something to conquer. One winter, when food grew scarce and the snow stayed longer than usual, Tayan volunteered to hunt alone in the sacred wild. The elders warned him, "Do not chase what does not flee," they said. "Do not wound what protects the land." But pride closed his ears. He entered the forest at dawn, following massive tracks pressed into fresh snow. Each footprint was as wide as a drum. The air grew colder with every step. By sunset, the wind fell silent. Even birds no longer sang. And then he saw it. The spirit bear stood between two towering pines, its white fur shimmering faintly as if lit from within. Its breath rose in slow clouds. Its eyes were dark and calm, holding neither anger nor fear. Tayan lifted his bow, but his hands began to shake. The bear did not charge. It did not flee. It only watched him, as if weighing his heart instead of his weapon. A strange heaviness filled the air. Tayan felt as though the forest itself was holding its breath. Suddenly, the ground trembled beneath his feet. A crack echoed through the trees. A sheet of ice broke beneath him, and he fell into a frozen ravine. The bear did not follow. Darkness swallowed him. Tayan awoke with pain in his leg and frost clinging to his clothes. The ravine walls were steep. The sky above was a narrow ribbon of gray. His supplies were gone. No fire, no food, no path back. For the first time, the hunter felt smaller than the world. He tried to climb, but his injured leg failed him. Night came quickly, and with it the cold. That night, he dreamed of the spirit bear. It stood on the edge of the ravine, its eyes glowing faintly. It did not speak with words, but with images. Trees growing from bones, rivers flowing through broken stone, animals feeding on fallen leaves. When Tyann woke, he understood. Survival was not about force. It was about listening. He used fallen branches to make a shelter. He drank melted snow. He waited. Days passed. Each morning, he saw large paw prints near the ravine's edge. The spirit bear was watching, not as prey, not as hunter, as witness. On the fourth day, Tyann's strength nearly failed him. He whispered into the empty forest, not as a hunter, but as a child. "I do not wish to take any more," he said. "I wish to return." The wind stirred. Snow drifted from the branches above, and a low sound echoed through the ravine. The spirit bear appeared again. It did not climb down. It did not rescue him. Instead, it pushed loose stones from the edge, forming a rough path where the ravine wall had cracked. Not a ladder, not a gift, an opportunity. Tyann climbed slowly, bleeding and trembling, but alive. When he reached the top, the bear had already turned away. Its massive form faded into the trees like mist into morning. Tyann returned to his people thinner, quieter, and changed. He did not boast of killing. He did not claim victory. Instead, he spoke of falling, of waiting, of being seen by something greater than himself. The elders listened in silence. From that winter on, the tribe hunted only what they needed. They left offerings at the forest edge. And when storms struck or animals vanished, they said, "The spirit bear walks." Tyann became a teacher, not of weapons, but of patience. He taught that strength was not the power to destroy, but the power to endure without forgetting who you are. To the people of the sacred wild, the spirit bear was not a monster. It was not a god. It was a mirror. It appeared to those who were lost, not to punish them, but to remind them they were part of something older and wider than fear. The bear's white fur symbolized winter and survival. Its silence symbolized wisdom. Its rare appearances marked moments when humans walked too far from balance. They believed that as long as the spirit bear lived, the forest still remembered its true name. Even today, some travelers speak of seeing pale shapes between the trees when snow falls without sound. They feel watched, but not threatened, as if the land itself is asking a question. Are you here to take or to belong? The legend of the spirit bear is not only about an animal. It is about the strength to survive without becoming cruel, the courage to listen when the world is quiet, and the wisdom to know that true power is not carried in claws or arrows, but in respect for the sacred wild. And somewhere, deep in the forests where mountains still breathe, the spirit bear walks on, not as a hunter, not as prey, but as the spirit of balance itself.